So here's winners and losers. Do you have your winners and losers?
I do.
You want to go first with your winners and losers, and I'll give mine?
You want to go first, or you want me to go?
I'll go first. Okay. My winners and losers. I think anytime you do, and by the way, this was our prediction that we made. If you want to take a look at this was the prediction pre-debate. So we gave this to you guys. Rob, you got this from us yesterday or something like that, and you guys kind of put it together. So winners, I thought Vivek was going to be the winner. I thought Pence was going to be the loser. Then shots at Trump, Christie, he did that. Shots at Biden. You have, what do you call it, DeSantis. Most surprising, Tim Scott. I don't think Tim Scott was the most surprising. I thought it was Haley by a mile. Winner, I don't know who you had there, Adam. That's North Dakota's governor, right?
I had an underdog, and I was absolutely wrong. I thought that Doug Burgum,
he broke his foot.
This guy got crossed over.
He broke his foot. He broke his ankle. And
they torn Achilles, but you're playing basketball. Some staffer crossed him up.
Yeah. And
he's a 60-year-old man. It was an Achilles injury.
I actually like the line he said. I like how he opened it up. He kind of took a shot at himself. I thought it was funny.
He said, go out there and break a leg. I did.
I did.
My bad, y'all. But I thought he was going to come out strong because I think he's actually a businessman, entrepreneur, also a governor. I thought that he was going to do his thing. He did.
By the way, just so you know, what everybody said afterwards, just so you know, I had no idea he was until you kind of said who he was, right? Like, he's actually good. Everybody said, if somebody else said what he was saying, it would have been received better, but he didn't know how to deliver his message better. So he had good policy.
He doesn't have that oomph.
Yeah. So let me just go through my winners and losers. Here's what I got. Number one, I think one of the biggest winners is who nobody talked about, which is the moderators. I thought the moderators crushed it because nobody bitched about them. There was literally nothing said about the moderators. Think about the town hall Trump did with that one girl that used to be one of
Caitlin
Tucker's
Collins.
aides. Everybody trashed her. Guess what? In this sense, I thought Brett Baer actually did he looked at the audience, was very pleasant. He didn't look angry like Anderson. Keep it down. Keep it down. He was kind of like, hey, can you guys please so we can talk more policies?
And Martha McCallum was also,
I thought they were great. I thought they were great. Even the funny moment with Chris Christie about aliens. She laughed. I never thought a person from New Jersey, you know me, why would you ask me about aliens? I thought it was a good moment. Winners, Tucker Carlson, won. Trump, won. Vivek, won. Haley, won. Twitter, won. Streaming, won. Podcasters, won. Rumble, won. Oliver Anthony, won. Those are my winners, who I have. Losers, cable, Asa Hutchinson, I don't think he was going to be anything anyways. Christie, and pretty much everybody else, and I put DeSantis as neutral, is what I put DeSantis at. We can go through some of the other stuff here in a minute, but who were your winners and losers?
I only have one winner for the whole night.
Let's hear it.
And it was Donald J. Trump. Because why was he the winner? Number one, listen, 2 days from now, nobody's going to be talking about this JV debate at all, period. The fact that half our audience was watching Trump and not the debate is also a telltale sign. I also didn't see anybody up there on stage that's going to dismantle Trump in the top position. If anything, I think that his lead is only going to widen and widen and widen. And we'll see what happens with everything legally speaking. Whatever's happening in Georgia, we'll see how that affects things. But it's clear and clear and clear. The MAGA vote ain't going anywhere. He has a stranglehold over the Republican Party, whether you like it or not. He's the guy. And DeSantis did nothing to stand out. Vivek, you know that I think he's an absolute beast. If he was running as a Democrat, he would be the next president. He just, the Republican evangelical base, MAGA, is not going to support a brown Hindu guy. Sorry. But I think he's an absolute beast. And everyone else, I think, is a loser. I think Mike Pence, he's the only person that lost Twitter followers during this. I think he showed some fight. He's as crack a white as it gets, and he's going to get that evangelical vote. That's great. He did have one line where he said, I'd put the Constitution over Donald Trump. And anytime that you're going to see Mike Pence on stage with Donald Trump this next debate, don't underestimate what Mike Pence is going to say on stage to basically torpedo Trump. Now, will it work? I don't know. But don't forget that Mike Pence takes the high road. He's going to do his Christian thing. But he's got a vendetta. Don't forget about that.
I think Trump's the only winner. Has one outcome. I think Mike Pence only has one outcome.
What's that? Torpedoing Trump?
He's only doing it for his kids and grandkids. This is only for his legacy. He's not convinced he's going to be the president.
Right.
He himself doesn't believe he's going to be a president. His family doesn't believe he's going to be a president. He's just trying to protect the legacy of a man who spent his entire life pretty much in public service to say, I did the right thing, kids and grandkids. And then from there, he can live the rest of his life as a working for Fox or representing for whoever it is. I think it was purely a legacy thing for him.
I think you're right. And I actually think that he was a little more amped up than usual.
I agree.
I don't know if that came across
It was
for
felt
you guys.
100% in the audience.
And then, again, Trump's the winner. I thought Nikki Haley, did her thing. She's got zero chance. Zero. She's running for VP. You think Nikki Haley's going to fucking out-Trump Trump? One thing was clear. I don't know if you guys saw this. Unless you have that, I can't look away quality and you talking some smack, Vivek does it a little bit. Even Chris Christie does it a little bit. He ain't going anywhere, though. Dude, that's what we've turned into. These debates have literally turned into, I need to watch this. It's like you got to suck all the oxygen out of the room. So Tim Scott, sorry, brother, you're done. Have a nice day. You're a swamp creature who's been in the Senate for decades now. Get out of here. Asa Hutchinson, who is that? Mike Pence's dad. Keep it moving, old man. Even my guy, Doug Burgum, solid guy. He does not have the eyeball effect. Chris Christie, how have you not lost a fucking pound in 30 years, buddy? How is this possible? Come on, dude.
As funny as, people think it's funny, it's actually not funny.
No,
it's not funny. You don't have control over what you put in your mouth. How the hell are you going to have control
over
other temptations?
If you can't manage your weight, you're going to and I'm not talking bad about big people that have problems around the world, but you can get healthier and better. I don't trust your decision.
Not 1 pound?
Not
in 30 years?
He got bigger. But go ahead, Adam.
So, look, at the end of the day, and I mean this genuinely, this was a JV debate. If you don't have Trump, if you don't have the heavyweight champion in the world fighting, these guys should all be thankful and lucky. But I think when all is said and done, you're going to cut out the 6, 7, 8 characters, which are Tim Scott, Doug Burgum, Asa Hutchinson, even Chris Christie. Goodbye. See you later. You're going to be left with DeSantis, Vivek, Mike Pence, and Nikki Haley, and Trump. That'll be your final 5. Dunzo. Trump number 1. Vivek, I think, will overtake DeSantis as number 2. DeSantis number 3. You got Mike Pence. You got Nikki Haley just for a little female effect. And that's what you're going to be looking at in the next major debates. That's the final 5.
Vinnie.
I think we're all on the same page in that obviously Trump basically won a race, won the best Olympic 100-meter dash, didn't even have to show up. Mm-hmm. Obviously the winner. We didn't see Rob, our HR even made a great point. 0 MAGA hats in the entire, there was no MAGA in that place. I know there was Trump supporters. Nobody was rocking the gear. Nobody, They were all just anti, the hell with this. He's not here, not even there to support. I think another.
You got a feeling there was not MAGA people there?
I felt that they were, they were in the crowd, but Pat, no gear, no hats.
Vinny, you can't be that naive.
No, what do you mean?
I saw a handful of people with MAGA hats. You're right. It wasn't as much as you think.
It wasn't as much. And when I heard when they were mentioning Trump, Pat, I got some applause, but you heard a lot of, they were booing when they were talking about Trump in that place. So,
yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is it wasn't, to me, it wasn't 0-0. So the way they said it, they gave the left side to DeSantis.
Yeah, big time.
They gave the right side to Vivek. And then they gave Haley close to where you were sitting
down. All the girls, yeah.
And then some of the, Pence folks and all the other guys were kind of sprinkled all over the place. But, you can, what crowd do you think had the biggest crowd there? Who did you feel that had the most?
Wow, good. The loudest was Vivek. Like the girls, the energy, but DeSantis had a lot of people. DeSantis had a lot. But you know what else I thought the winner was? The Democrats, the Department of Justice doing their thing. Trump, he's getting indicted today, right?
4 o'clock in 23 minutes.
Those are the winners, bro. You know who won? The Democratic Party, the Department of Justice are going after the main guy, Pat, who is the number one. Because at the end of the day, Pat, and I've been saying this not to jump off, everybody, it's Trump. Everybody's like, oh, you're a Trumper, Trump. It didn't even have to be Trump. It was just we wanted somebody that was going to go against these assholes. And sorry for my language, the establishment. Everybody always likes to say that word, the establishment. He's the only guy, he's the first guy in my generation that was like, you know what? No more swamp, no more this. The hell with China, the hell with these people. America first. And what did they do? All that. Swamp was like, no, F you, and made everybody go. Trump derangement syndrome. I never liked Trump. When he was on Apprentice, Year 5, I never gave a damn till I started looking at all the videos of him on all the shows going, I love America, the shows that would never put him on, Letterman and everything. I love America. All I care about is this country. Why do we care about other countries? Who cares about Ukraine? It's America first. So obviously he won. The Democrats are kicking ass because they got the Department of Justice on him. DeSantis, it was almost as if he knew the questions first and he was reading and he knew everything. It was robotic. It was disingenuous. You nailed it. The last podcast we had, you said, and I quote, this is his only chance, he better come out and talk to us, talk to the people. It wasn't. It was looking down and blah, 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 and COVID this, and he was doing this. And I noticed something about him that a couple people on Twitter were mentioning. Rob could pull it up. I saw him walking like during the commercial with like a hunch, and I looked, and he had on high-rise boots on.
Oh, he wears boots.
I didn't. No, but look at that. Look, can you get on that, Rob? It was.
He wears those boots everywhere.
But
he wore them when we met with him.
How short is he? Is he short?
No, he's a big guy.
Well, guess what? Look at those boots. Those were uncomfortable. Yeah. He looks like he's walking uncomfortable.
When we met him, he's I don't know. He's probably an inch or two taller than me, an inch or two shorter than you. I want to say. I'm 6 foot. Pat's 6'4".
But wearing those boots,
I'm saying he's 6'1", 6 like.
He's 5'9".
Yeah,
he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he is not 5'9".
He's
yeah,
5'9".
yeah.
DeSantis is not 5'9". No chance.
He's short. But anyway.
Well, Pat, according to the internet, you're 5'4". So.
Well, no. What I'm saying to you is, I remember standing next to him, and I remember looking at his shoes. At best, he's 5'10". Which 5'10" is tall.
If he's
5'10" is a good height.
then he's wearing 6-inch heels.
Well, dude,
no,
I'm
6 inch
he
would
was
be 6'4".
look at those.
He was taller than me.
6 inch would be 6'4". By the way, the cowboy boots. Just look at this. Cowboy boots. What's the word?
Boots.
No, but if you want to find
the heel of the boot.
I just got catfished by Ron DeSantis' heels.
Yeah. So if you look at cowboy boots, heel what? What question do you ask?
3 inches? Like how many inches?
3 inches.
He's adding 3 inches, and he was in the middle, and he was taller than everybody else.
Okay.
Okay. So if he's 5'10" and
He's 6 feet. That makes sense.
Yeah, he was up there.
But you got me, Ron.
Yeah.
You catfished me with them high heels.
By the way, and the other part that some people will say is, when you wear cowboy boots, the first thing you think about is he's from Texas. I don't know it. I've been in Florida for a while. I don't see anywhere here that
it's not a thing.
No.
It's not a
Born
thing
and raised in Florida, nobody wears cowboy boots.
He was uncomfortable, and that's what I'm saying is, and I can get that strategy. You're in the middle, you're standing. I think, again, Christie and Pence. I saw them, like you said, in between commercials, hugging, talking. That's an alliance. Those two have. Vivek, awesome, Pat. I don't like the fact that he opened the speech with the same exact line that Obama used about him, and I'm just
Skinny
the guy
kid with a funny last name.
I kind of listen. I think he's a great speaker. Nikki Haley represented the whole section that I was in. Really, really loved her. I think she stepped up. The guy in the end, Asa Hutchinson, whatever.
To me, he looks like Biden's second cousin. They look like they're cousins. We'll look at that picture right there.
Dude, that is insane.
They look like they're related.
Steven Crowder said that he looks...
Asa at the debate. That's his picture at the debate.
That's crazy. That haircut is just a politician.
Steven Crowder compared him to one of those white lab rats with pink eyes. He's like that.
Yeah, it does. And then
you know who he looks like? You know that one, the pastor, the money pastor. Let me tell you,
creepy guy.
What's her name? Hey, I see Jesus in your. Don't you ever? But Tyler Perry is a really good. He almost gave away the jet.
I had free.
Yeah.
But and then Tim Scott, they gave him $20 million for the super PAC. He should have taken some of that money and learned to project that voice, because I couldn't hear anything. And if they clapped a little bit, you lost his message.
I think you're talking about Kenneth Copeland.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, Kenneth Copeland.
Scary little.
Yeah, look at that.
Jesus watching you.
Look at that guy.
He looks a little bit like Kenneth Copeland.
Dude,
look, the first picture to the right.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Not that one. The middle one right there. The one to the right there. That one. He looks
my God.
He looks like
That's the devil.
Asa Hitchens.
Genius is watching.
Oh my God.
By the way, Tim Scott. Respect.
I like the guy.
I'm gonna say what Steven Crowder and Nick Apollo were saying. It's like, black people are known for having like some swag, some energy, some vibe. It's kind of your thing.
He couldn't talk.
It's like how us Jewish people are known for like, hey, telling jokes, being complainers. We get it.
Yeah.
Assyrians are known for being angry. We get it, But
I never heard that before.
I thought that's or Armenians. I apologize.
Number 3,
Armenians.
Lebanon, Turkish.
I apologize to our.
What if he was like, get to the point, Adam? Punch him in the face.
Dude, Tim Scott, you got no swag whatsoever. Like, give me a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
I was actually very disappointed in Tim Scott. I thought he was gonna have something.
Can I give some thoughts on DeSantis?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So to me, DeSantis, if you looked at how he did, Again, alliances, you watch for alliances. Who was shaking whose hand? There was one moment where him and Vivek shook hands. It was uncomfortable looking at DeSantis. I was shaking hands with Vivek. Vivek was right in the middle of the debate when he came up to him. But Chris Christie and DeSantis talked the entire time. Every break, Chris Christie and DeSantis were right next to each other,
really?
whispering,
Oh,
talking.
big time.
Yeah,
DeSantis and Christie.
I mean, constantly, not like once or twice or three times. Constantly, they were talking to each other. And DeSantis,
right there.
DeSantis was the only one that was coming out to
make up and
be fair with him. He was the only guy that would come up and would wave at the audience, his camp that was sitting on that one side. Yeah, he was constantly talking the entire time. Okay, so I watched. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting alliance. Why would that be an interesting alliance? Here's why. How many times did you hear DeSantis take shots at Trump? None.
Yeah.
The only shot that he took was super indirect, was about Fauci. First thing I was like, you're fired, right? And okay, that's great. But if we were to count how many times he used the word Trump, I don't know if he ever used it. I'm telling you.
DeSantis did not
I
really
don't know if
talk about
DeSantis
Trump.
said the word Trump one time. However, his mouthpiece did, and that's Christie. So whatever DeSantis wanted to say to Trump, my opinion, I could be wrong. Anything DeSantis wanted to say to Trump, Christie said it, not DeSantis. So whatever Christie said is what DeSantis really wanted to say. You know, again, my thoughts, my opinion, I could be wrong. And DeSantis, for me, he went up there, and it was obvious that he had certain points to give, which he made his points. He gave his speech, the closing speech. You could tell he said that speech multiple times, and it was great. Some people said he came across a little bit angry. Do you have the New York Post article that gave feedback on every single person, what they were saying? The audience said DeSantis looked angry. Now, for me, I don't mind it. That doesn't do anything for me. Like, oh my God, he came back this. Here's a body language expert dissects Republican debate with surprising insights. Can you go a little bit lower to kind of see what he's saying? Okay, angry DeSantis is what he called it. Go to the next one. Zoom in a little bit left. DeSantis also failed to smile, Navarro said. Okay, keep going. Comfortable, Ramaswamy. I thought he looked very comfortable on stage. Haley's strong will, absolutely. Haley, when she went after the abortion, the women, the way she broke down the woman and abortion. Listen, whether you and I as men care anything about that, you see numbers that 67% were against what happened with Supreme Court, and I kind of hurt the red wave that was supposed to happen. Abortion is very, very important for women. She won there, and she kind of called out Vivek in the foreign. Yeah. You're not ready to be a president because you don't have experience in foreign affairs. Okay, cool. Go to the next one. Let's see what else they say. Friendly Hutchinson, great. Burgum prop, keep going. What is it? Church Pastor Scott, okay, makes sense. What is it? Subdued Pence. I don't know about that. He had a 5-second pause every time he was given an answer. Dude, you got 60 seconds. You're taking 5 seconds to respond. Keep going. Who else you got? Who else you got at the bottom? Confident Christie. Okay, cool. Fair. I would give that. Keep going. And then Trump card. Okay. So for me, when I watched DeSantis, this is what I thought about. There was a fighter in UFC. His name was Tyron Woodley. Okay. And when he was coming up at one point, people thought he was going to be Dana White's guy. And I don't know if you remember the falling out between him and Dana. A big falling out between him and Dana. This guy, good-looking guy, incredible body, incredible wrestler.
He got knocked
fighter,
out by
punching. He got every single way. This guy in UFC was the guy. Yep. What does he start doing? He starts undermining Dana White publicly. He starts complaining about Dana White publicly. No problem. So you know what he does? Then Dana gives him a main fight. He fights. I don't know who he fights. Afterwards, they're asking Dana, so what'd you think about the fight? He said, what did I think about the fight? What did you think about the fight? The guy's like, I don't know. He says, listen, audience was booing. You mean you just want to come and win a championship with points? This is how you want to win? This will be the last time we'll give him a card like this and da-da-da. Guess what? Woodley disappeared, gone, right? Because he just came to win with points. I think DeSantis came yesterday to win with points. And he hit his points. He got his points knocked out of the way. Do I think he went above and beyond what people were expecting him to do? I don't know if I can say that on what he did. I think Nikki Haley, she was last on my list. You know, she came up and she showed up, okay? And she brought talking points that others weren't bringing up. So she brought up talking points where she forced us to talk about that. I thought Vivek, when he got up and he said, I'm the only person on stage that can say the fact that I haven't taken any money from Super PAC. Okay, wait. You know, hey, I know what you're thinking right now. What would a skinny kid from a name okay, that was when Chris Christie called him out very quickly. Sound like Obama.
Obama, exactly.
And all this other stuff. But Vivek made you think. He sold a dream. He sold America. He sold the future. He sold what's going on. He sold, where we are as a company. You didn't see any of that with DeSantis. It was a lot of, he hit his point, he hit his point, he hit his point, and he hit his point, and he hit his point. So if there's a job to say, I want you to go there, say this, make these 4 points, and get out, guess what? He did it. But you need more than that to go against a guy named Trump or even a guy named Vivek. So I don't know if I saw DeSantis coming out the gates the way I was hoping for him to come. That's why I gave him a neutral, it's not a plus, not a minus, not a winner, not a loser. He just came to do his job and he went home.
So you don't think he connected? Remember when you talked about him connecting, Pat? And we were live.
He was the only guy that wouldn't look at the camera. He was looking at Brett Baer the entire time. Rule number one, Brett Baer doesn't matter. He's not your vote. It's the camera. Look at the camera.
DeSantis was?
DeSantis was only looking at Brett Baer. I'm like, look at the camera. And you know who Vivek was looking at? Straight at the camera.
Yeah, at us.
Okay, which one's our camera, Rob, by the way, for the audience? Can you tell me which one's the camera?
Your solo, Pat?
Is it this one or this one in the middle?
I think
which
your solo was the middle one.
Okay, so imagine if this is my solo. That one.
That's solo.
Look at the difference of me looking at you right now. If you're watching this, just look at my eyes real quick. Are we not making a connection right now? If that's the camera, if I'm looking at the right camera, I don't know if I am or not.
Yeah.
If I am, we're making a connection. Now watch this. If I look here. So, we're doing, so that's what you got to do. And you're like, hey, talk to me. You're not talking to me. I don't know. It's just, again, basic, elementary stuff that when it comes down to marketing, connecting, storytelling that you got to do. And Vivek hit that. Vivek hit the mark.
Listen here, America.
Yeah. Hey, America.
I want to have a moment in time with you right now.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a new day in America right now. This is probably the most important election of our lifetime. We understand that, right? No, you're absolutely right. It's you got to address the audience. You got to talk to the audience. You can't. Vivek is the only person up there who has that Trump quality. That bro, I'm just shooting from the hip here. The only difference is, how many people came after specifically Vivek? Let me back
Everybody,
up.
right off the bat.
Everybody knew that he's the guy.
Chris Christie hit him with the Chat GPT line.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, I don't need Chat GPT from India over here giving his thing. Mike Pence said, listen, we don't need on-the-job training.
Yep.
I need to be in there day one. Nikki Haley they were going at it. She's like,
the on-the-job training was funny. And then when he said, we don't want him too old.
Yeah.
And we don't want him
too young.
And then did you hear what Vivek said? He says, listen, folks, this ain't that complicated.
Yeah.
You're making it seem like it's a complicated job.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley went after him on foreign policy, Ukraine, Israel, what have you. But it just goes to show every single one of them was like, all right, I got to go against the guy who's beating me in the polls right now, and that is Vivek. None of them went after DeSantis. How many people went after DeSantis last night? I don't remember one. Do you?
No, everybody was.
How many people were like, Ron, you should have stayed governor of Florida, wait your turn,
Well,
MAGA.
Vivek did. Vivek, when he went like this or he went like this.
There you go, Vivek.
Is the only one that went after DeSantis.
And who did Vivek go after? The only one that he went after was the guy that's a little bit above him, DeSantis. It's called punching up.
Yep.
This is why Trump doesn't have to show up. He's not going to punch down to Asa Hutchinson or to Tim Scott or whatever loser is polling at 1% or 2%.
You know who took a shot?
In the polls?
You know who took a shot at Trump though? That wasn't on the panel. Brett Baer. When he goes, let's address the elephant that's not in the room. Everybody
and he wasn't talking about Chris Christie, right?
And he wasn't talking about Chris Christie, who was right in front of him.
Who is the true elephant?
That's the real elephant
was
in the room.
a good one that Kelly brought up. Shout out to Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, shout out, baby.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.